The subject is really big for me. I grew up in post-Soviet Russia where sexuality was heavily shamed. And I felt like I had a lot of sexuality in me. I had a lot of sexual energy in me, and I just felt like how much I had to restrict myself. And religion wasn't really helpful because according to religion, Christianity, where I grew up, was like sex is a sin and you just have to use it to procreate, otherwise it's all wrong. And I had so many desires, I had so many fantasies. The more I tried to repress myself, the more I wanted to do something bad. And like in my dreams, I was fantasizing of all the naughty things I could do. So I had this strange duality, like how is it possible that I want it so much, but it's not allowed? And luckily I found this tantric yoga school where I was explained that there are two types of spiritual quests. One is you go away from the world, you hide in a cave and you focus entirely on meditation. But another way is the tantric way is not world denying, but actually world embracing. So embrace everything in the world, embracing violence, embracing shadow, embracing sexuality, all the fantasies that come with us, and using it wisely, not just blindly jumping into every desire you have, but actually questioning, inquiring, why am I doing this? What does this mean? What does this desire actually mean? What does it represent? What is the symbolism of this? What does it take me to? So really questioning everything and having the right intention. So I also learned about consecration. Consecration is a ritual of offering all fruits, merits, and results of your action to the divine consciousness. And that comes to sexuality. And that was my first time I really tried using sexuality as a spiritual experience by sitting together with my partner and consecrating this to the divine consciousness, to asking, praying, like, hey, I would like to have this act of sexual connection bring us closer to divine energies. And that changed everything. Like just that ritual of consecration brought us to a whole different space. The energy of interaction changed because it wasn't about greed and satisfaction, like I want this from you, I want you to satisfy me, I want to feel good, I want to use you to feel good. Instead, it was a lot more giving, a lot more unconditional, a lot more beautiful, and a lot more in the flow. There was a sense of flow taking us somewhere without us desiring a certain outcome. There wasn't any chase for a certain pleasure and orgasm. Actually, we would be surprised that by giving up our personal will and desire, we would come much deeper into self-connection, connection to one another, and connection to the divine consciousness. So sexuality can become a tool for expansion, tool for connection, tool for deepest intimacy, also tool for integrating our shadows, because different kinky fantasies, strange fantasies, unacceptable pieces of us, they can be actually a good language of our subconscious that shares what is actually needed, what wants to be addressed, what wants to come to light, what wants to be seen. So by creating the space to play out all kinds of fantasies, possibilities to flow in so many different ways, we can actually integrate all this together and actually feel whole, feel connected, feel loved, and just go much deeper, go beyond basic need to use one another for satisfaction, go beyond codependency patterns, go beyond classic scenarios, how sexuality has to unfold, how a woman has to be, how man has to be, what should happen, like to make it successful. So not having it goal-oriented, but actually just surrendering to the flow and just allowing it to take it exactly where it needs to be. So to wrap this up, I found that the right intention, consecration, and surrender and self-inquiry are the tools that can bring sexuality into spiritual realms. And I love to share it, I love to explore it, I love to teach it. There are so many different practices that are helping us to access this.
Thank you for that. Excellent.